I'm Jameisha Smith, and I'm doing a speech on the reading I Hate Texting, How Texting is Wrecking Our Language by John Humphreys. I remember when texting really got popular and everybody had to text. We had to teach our grandmother how to text because it was really cool back then. We had to text our friends all day, every day. We had to text our friends in class, at dinner, even if they're sitting next to us, we had to text them. We had to text while we're driving, so eventually they had to make laws so we'll stop texting while we're driving. But the author John Humphreys is and wasn't too fond of texting. He made that really clear in his article. Well, first of all, he doesn't like texting because they put it in the dictionary. They put these shorthanded words, or as he called them, abbreviated words, in the dictionary. For example, LOL. That shouldn't be put in the dictionary because it's not really a word, and it shouldn't. And I mean, what do they define it as? Because people interpretate that word differently. Like, for example, when we text, we put laugh out loud at the end of a happy sentence, or when something is funny, it's because we can't show emotion. We're not gonna just go up to a person and be like, "Oh, your party was fun. I had fun." Laugh out loud. They're gonna look at us like we're crazy. Like that. Mm-mm. No, you can't. You don't do that. It's really weird. So that word, well, it's not really a word. It's a shorthanded, abbreviated word for texting. So that texting word should not be put in a dictionary, or people go in dictionary to see if if they are spelling things right, and if they are using the right grammar. Another reason he did not like texting is because of the abbreviated words, or as we call them, shorthanded words. It's because sometimes people make up their own shorthanded words, and there's no way of telling what they're talking about unless you're asking them or you know what they're thinking about. For example, LOL. When I texted that to my mom for the first time, she thought it meant lots of love, and really it meant laugh out loud. But it depends on the person, how they think, and how they talk. They may not interpret it that way. So if there's a million shorthanded words out there could be 5 different ways that people interpret those 5 million words. So that could be like a misunderstanding of these words, and that can really affect a person's how we're communicating with each other. And for personally myself, I used to love texting and shorthanding words. So when I got to high school, I didn't know it, but it really affected my writing. I mean, I didn't talk like that, but it it this how I texted affected how I talked in my writing. I started putting laugh out loud in my sentences on paper. It was terrible, and it was not a pretty sight. But I think even though I write out my words when I text now, it still affects my grammar because I guess I haven't revert back to what I learned in the earlier days. But for a statistic, according to the Pew Research Center's Internet and American Life Project, 61% of Americans own a smartphone. A smartphone has texting built in it. So if these 61% of Americans text each other on a daily basis and they use these shorthand words, you can that could it really affect our language if people are not really speaking proper English or whatever their language is? Could it affect our language? Yeah, I think it can affect our language because we're not speaking in a right language. We're just making up words to make it easier to text. So think about from a rural perspective. If everybody texts and nobody knows what we're talking about, how are we going to understand each other?